Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place! Yeah.
Love Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7's for real.
Is this the game? I'm not like, this is
First round,
okay.
but it's Game 7 of the first round. It's the only one that went to Game 7, so it's pretty good. Whoever wins goes up against Utah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Jazz. What everyone equates with Utah.
Yeah,
Jazz. They surely they started somewhere else, right?
New Orleans.
Yeah, okay. That makes a fuckload of sense.
Oh, man.
They really shouldn't have done that, you know?
Yeah, they should have.
Like the Lakers come from Minneapolis, like land
Sure.
of the
Yeah, but that's true. But Lake, I feel like I don't know. Like lakes are there's lakes everywhere.
Lakes. It's fine. We got a lake. I think
there's lakes, right? Big Bear, but Jazz. There's only a few places where someone can really say that there is Jazz.
Yeah, they should have when they moved to Utah. They should have changed their name to the Utah Tidy Whities or something.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, you know, Charlotte Hornets, right? Like it's a Hornet. They can be anywhere. Like sure, bees are in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But anyway, just thinking about the Utah Jazz today.
We're just talking jazz.
We're just talking jazz. We're always talking jazz.
Yeah.
I should intro the podcast.
We're like freestyling this podcast just like Jeff.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love a jazz podcast. It's like not even improv, you know. It's jazz. Dissonant at times, troublesome often.
Best on heroin. This podcast.
Yeah, real good on heroin and just the grind of the city. That's what you need to really appreciate jazz. And I hope not this podcast. I should intro the podcast. Welcome to Fuck This Place, a podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, very, very funny comic. You have heard him on the Door Guys podcast, also Political Potluck, but he is here with us now. He's an awesome comic and just a general awesome dude. My buddy Hormoz Rashidi. Hormoz, how are you doing?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for doing this.
Welcome to the Jazz Fest. Okay, we're going to get off jazz in a second, but what happens at a jazz festival? You know, how do you distinguish between the bands?
What do you think is the level of drugs? What do you think is the level like is mushrooms, you think?
I think mushrooms for a jazz festival.
I don't see. I think I agree with you. You're right, but I don't think that. I feel like there's two types of people that listen to jazz: NPR white people, right? Mm-hmm. And the people that jazz is made for, right? You know, and I think that the jazz festival, just as a ballpark guess, I'm going to think that's a little heavier on the NPR.
That's like wine. The NPR people, they're just drinking wine.
Right.
Maybe
the drug of choice is wine. They will talk about the time that they did absinthe in college, right?
Yeah.
They will discuss.
Really, it was just a green liquor that one of their friends put dye in, and like it's absinthe.
Yeah, they will discuss the fact that their niece is doing psilocybin for depression.
Yeah.
But I mean, and again, they probably did some at some point, but it's so far behind them now that they're just
people enjoying the jazz festival have to be either mushrooms or acid.
Yeah, and people having a good time. Yeah. Which I guess that's all festival rules, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that that's actually universal because I don't know. I was in Vegas one time and I wasn't on mushrooms or anything, but I was quite drunk. And I thought, I'm having a pretty good time here, but I think if I was sober, I wouldn't be, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
For sure, yeah.
I would feel in danger. Not because I was going to get knifed or anything, but just I think that being around that many people feels like a dangerous act.
Yeah. But also that attitude is the one that gets you knifed.
Right.
Just assuming it's not going to happen ever.
Yeah.
Paranoid the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. You know, people aren't scared to get knifed, and that's why I've never been knifed, folks. Well, Hormoz, we should just jump straight into our first segment that we do on every podcast. It's a segment that we actually call Fuck This Place ? Where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. And you are originally from the Orange County area. Is that correct?
I grew up in Orange County.
What part of Orange County?
El Toro and then Yorba Linda.
Okay.
Like high school was Yorba Linda.
Got it. So what we have done is we have looked up some Craigslist posts from the Orange County region.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to decide if we would work at these jobs or not. I'm going to read the title of 3. You're going to pick the one you don't want to click on, and then we'll look at the other 2, just like you're browsing Craigslist. So, and you'll see the jobs in a second. So the title for the first one is yard work. Title for number 2 is Lifestyle Extra Needed for a Gig on 612 OC/LA. And then the last job title is Poker Hostess to Real Estate Career. So which one do you not want to pick on?
Definitely not doing the yard work.
Okay, no yard work. Yeah, fuck
No yard work.
Fuck that shit.
We're not
All right, well
doing
then
that.
let's just jump straight into lifestyle.
Especially in
extra.
Orange County, doing yard work for somebody in Orange County, that's going to be a big ass yard and a racist ass yard owner. I'm not done it.
They're gonna be mad that you even showed up, and it's
They're
they
gonna
hired
be
you.
me in Spanish, and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you, dog." Why do you assume that? Because I'm doing yard work.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so yeah, fuck that place. We'll just jump straight into lifestyle extra needed for a gig on 612 OC/LA. I should say the text begins and it starts right out the gate, and it says female model needed for a gig on 612 from 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Very specific on the 30s here. Upscale lifestyle event. Very vague, those words. Then it says looking for open-minded guests to attend event. That's not a good, open-mind is not a good phrase.
It's an orgy.
Yeah, it's an
I was
orgy.
just saying, they're doing everything they can to avoid the word orgy. I want to say every time you hear lifestyle, they wanted to say orgy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. If interested,
Oh, it's a
please send.
lifestyle.
It's a life. It is a lifestyle. You know. You know,
It's got to be
chlamydia,
that much work. It's got to be a lifestyle.
that many people. You know, that much chlamydia. It's your life. If interested, please send some pics and or IG. I do appreciate that they're modern. You know, if they're upscale lifestyle, they should at the very least understand that the majority of the pictures you're going to need are on Instagram.
Like yeah, they definitely have those like eyes wide shut, like giant like bird masks, but they're also like, yeah, but we got apps on the phone. We know,
Yeah, for sure.
we're with it.
Yeah. You know, they have a dungeon, but they also understand that like you're going to take an Uber there.
Yeah.
Ideal model will be comfortable with nudity. There we go. And lifestyle themed event. So they have laid it on extremely heavy. So far, not a nary a mention of pay. The compensation.
But you don't need money. Oh, there it is.
Here it is. Compensation says $250, which does not really seem like enough money for what is that? Not.
I mean, I'm going to apply, but just because I have to pay to go to an orgy, this one I'll make something.
You might actually, it's what is it? Is that 4 hours? Let's say 9:30 to 1:30. I don't do math super good.
Yeah, 4 hours.
We'll say it's 4 hours, $250. I would guess maybe there's going to be some tips involved, but they also don't like
a bunch of tips.
This is pure fucking because there isn't even like a pretense in this ad of bartending or
like hosting, like,
or even like party prep. Like they're not even saying like, hey, can you come and move chairs? Oh, and also make sure everyone's having a good time. Like one of those weird, things.
Yeah, but it's like also, can you imagine just like you show up and then it's an orgy and they're like, oh yeah, but you knew what this was when we said you had to be comfortable with nudity. Like how far away fucking a bunch of people is from just being comfortable seeing naked
from
bodies.
what could be an art class.
Yeah, exactly. Like a sculpting class to be like, no, there's so many penises around here right now.
The least that you would be doing is like having somebody eat sushi off your body. Sure. That's like a fancy.
You're right. Bare minimum
level.
Yeah. Or like at the least, like if you were like a towel guy, like someone's just super hot and they just need to real quick, or like in the NBA when like a basketball player sitting on the bench and he's done with his water, and he'll like lift his water up and like a water cup, like kid will come by and grab it.
Yeah.
Like that. Like people.
Or like those tennis kids that like grab the balls off the
court.
Oh
yeah. You're just that. You're just
running around grabbing balls.
Yeah.
Just grabbing balls. Hey, you're coming off the court, pal. You're getting too hot. Obviously, there's an element of danger here that, like, if I was qualified, I would be I understand that you can't come out and say it, right? Because this is Craigslist here. But again, I'm not a part of these communities, but I would imagine that there has got to be a better way to get.
For sure. This is somebody who's new to the orgy game, trying to figure it out.
Or they're very old and they've burned every bridge.
They're trying to find some new kids to get in.
I'll show you. Clickety.
Or maybe they're veterans who've been doing this in Craigslist for a long time, and maybe this works out because in any place other than a really major metro area like New York, LA, maybe Chicago, to just say you're looking for a female model, no one's going to perk their ears up at that. But there may be people who are, in LA and Orange County that are like looking for, shit like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say fuck this place. Obviously, completely unqualified and borderline unsafe.
Yeah, I'm out. But you know what? Like I was thinking, it's like, what do you think is worse? If you show up and there is like a ton of people at this orgy, or if there is no one? Like, what's weirder?
No one.
No one is worse.
Yeah. I think that one's weird. I
mean, again, the amount of a ton matters. Like if it was 50 people, you're like, okay. But if it's like 3,000 people, then like I'd be super concerned. So, but it has to be
like
as far as
festival.
as far as scale goes, I think you have to really tip the scales for the volume to be scarier than a single.
I used to work at a strip club for a little bit. I was like the guy who worked the opening window.
Yeah.
And this strip club was the worst strip club ever. It was Star Strip on La Cienega, right across the street from the Largo.
Wow.
Nice.
It's got a different name now, but you know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And it was the saddest place ever because there was almost always 0 to 3 customers total.
Oh boy.
Man.
So much sadder when a place that's supposed to be sexy and shit going on is not people. Like,
it should at the very least it should at the very least be like sad and popping.
Yeah, it's sadder when they're there to make money selling their bodies and nobody's buying.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm out. I'm out on this. I don't want to hang out with these guys.
All right, great. Well, let's move on to post number 2, which is similarly sketchy, but a totally different, I feel like, vibe. Title is Poker-hostess-to-real-estate-career. And I don't know how to say that any clearer. They are implying that poker hostess then goes into a real estate career. Mm-hmm. And the text begins
like
and
it
says,
caterpillar to the butterfly.
Like we all know it to be. Looking for hostess for private members club for events. And then in parentheses, I'm sorry. In parentheses, it says poker nights, fight nights, etc. Doing a lot of heavy lifting, in my opinion. A lot of heavy lifting. Who wants to grow into a career in commercial real estate? Attractive females only.
Lowercase a on that, by the way.
Yeah. Please send picture. Person will be paid per event. Yeah, okay, I read that right. Plus,
oh my God. This guy was just in such a rush. He's jerking off while he's writing. Such a rush.
Yeah, it's a real serious situation. Plus monthly pay for administrative tasks. I'm sorry. Okay, administrative tasks. For the right candidate, this can lead to a career path in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Safe. And then the last, like that was all one paragraph. Then they dropped to another line. It says, safe professional office environment. Please send picture for more information. And oh wait, there is a compensation box. It says $200, $300 per event plus $2,000 per month.
Wow. That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you assume if you did at least one event a week, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But also you go back to this ad and it sounds like you're fucking doing a lot of work.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're hosting poker night. You're hosting fight night. Fight night. You're also, I guess, giving hand jobs at some point. Like it's like there's a lot of work to do.
Administrative tasks. What is that?
Yeah. What is that? Filing? What is that?
And you don't know. He may have spelled poker wrong. He may have been poker.
That's correct. Yeah, it could. And fight nights could be wrong too. He could have been flight nights because they all fly to Vegas, or maybe they do beer flights. It's a craft beer club.
Mm-hmm. It's like you're watching like UFC, or are you hosting a fight club?
That's my question. The fact that it's a private members club leans way harder on an actual fight club than it does for watching. I feel like they would say, I don't know. You can say among your friends fight night. I think we all know what that means. We're gonna watch the fight, whatever. Is the big fight going on, but. Again, this person is not communication is not this person's strong point. That's extremely evident. So
capitalization,
nor is capitalization.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of money.
I understand why they're like, I need some administrative help. Like, I need someone to proofread as well.
I mean, my question to me, again, the base layer of this, fight nights, poker, admin, that's a pretty like bonkers like setup, right? And then you go into the possibility for not just any real estate career. This is a commercial real estate career, which, as a person who actually knows just a tiny bit about the real estate, is like, yeah, we all know you could take your broker's license, right? And you could, get in with Keller Williams or whatever, like lots of people get into regular commercial shit is like renting offices. Like only big companies do that, right? Like it's an extremely legitimate operation. Not to say that regular real estate isn't, but what I'm saying is it's very difficult to be an amateur or even up and coming like commercial real estate person who's like,
no,
going rogue.
My guess is some guy who like works in Fullerton, who's made a bunch of money in commercial real estate, is like, I'm looking for a dumb hot chick. Yeah. And edit my shit, suck my dick occasionally. Bring beers to my friends when we're watching poker. And then if she plays her cards right, I'll give her an internship at my commercial real estate.
That's correct. If she plays her cards right is a sentence that comes out of this guy's mouth all the time. If she plays her cards right.
Yeah, what are the odds you think this guy occasionally calls her his girlfriend to his friends? Like how long before his friends figure out the grift of like, wait, he's paying her. Like this is not his girlfriend.
Again, I think it's actually quite similar to the lifestyle extra situation where it could be that this is a new grift, or it could be this is a very old grift for this person. And so everybody knows.
The girls who are applying and encourage them to do yard work instead.
I mean, that's true. We should reach out. We should hack into this situation. Still a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and that is the thing. It's like obviously they're not looking for me, but it's like that would be pretty hard to turn down that much money. But also, there's just no. It's hard for me to believe that this person has that level of connections to commercial real estate,
correct,
but also cannot put together a grammatically correct, like
sentence.
cannot even put this post up correctly with a single capital letter.
With a big ask, I would say.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't make sense. You're not smart enough to have these kinds of connects.
Yeah.
If you can't string together sentences.
Yeah, that's fair. That's super fair.
So I think there's a lie here. So
again, I think the capitalization might be a guy jerking off and then typing with one hand. The hitting shift and the letter is too much work. So he's just
Which I mean, you could have typed this up on your phone too. I'm just saying, if you needed to go one-handed all the way.
Yeah.
As a person who has a wrist injury right now, I am left-handed on every activity of all sorts, and let me just say, it is not that difficult to be one-handed and type.
So back to just being dummy then.
I think so.
Either way, I'm out. I like just that alone. Something's fishy here.
Yeah, I'm gonna also say I'm out, and I also think this sounds like a lot of money to me. $2,000 per month plus $200 per event. Like for sure. Even if like I'm down for all of this, like I get it, I'm down. It still feels like actually you could get more money, for doing whatever this person wants you to do. But individually, like you can be an admin person and get more money. You could be a poker hostess maybe and get more money. You could certainly be in the sex business and definitely commercial real estate.
Well, I was gonna say, if you were admin for someone who was in commercial real estate, you could probably pull some good coin,
make some decent cash. Anyway, so that's why I say fuck this place. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
It's fine. It's the number is 470-BAD-JOBS. The actual numbers are 470-223-5627. That's the number.
So anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
And you want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470 bad jobs.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
Okay, so Hormoz, what is the first job you ever had?
I worked at Best Buy when I was like 16.
Oh, shit.
And before that, I worked, at my family's juice bar every now and then. But the first real job I had was working for Best Buy.
Okay, cool.
Well, just out of curiosity, how young was the youngest you were working at this juice bar?
13, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Family businesses. You can really.
And just whenever we're around and my dad wanted to go work out or whatever, he'd be like, watch the place for a couple hours.
Yeah. Which is great. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason people used to have kids, right? It's just so they had hands on the farm.
Yeah.
To carry on the juice bar.
Yeah, to carry on the juice bar. To just get that sweet.
It's just
what's that grass that people use in juice bars?
Wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass.
Yeah. It's wild how it's wild how like child labor laws just do not apply when it's like, well, that's my dad though. He owns the place. Like, oh, well, I guess you fuck, kid. I don't know. He's just working here now. Sorry, it's your dad. You do that work. Take that garbage out.
Yeah. But so for the Best Buy, how did you get the Best Buy job?
Just applied.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'd already worked for my family's business already was
right
up from everybody else. So.
Yeah. They put that on the not resume, but I imagine it was like, when you fill the job, it's like their form. You just have to like write
work experience. Yeah. All that.
You had one to go on there, which other 16-year-olds probably didn't have. Did you know anybody else there before you started?
No, but once I started, a bunch of my friends from high school also started applying, and then it became really fun.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Was there? I think this is our first Best Buy on the podcast. There's like regions that you work in Best Buy, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I started off as a cashier, and then I moved to audio.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like you want to get away from the cashier, right?
Yeah, cashier is the lowest.
Yeah,
and I was just really good at sales, so they moved me to audio.
Oh, okay.
How did you transition out of cashier to the floor, so to speak?
The way Best Buy works is like all the managers and stuff all get extra money if their department ranks high on the Best Buy list of those departments, right?
Okay.
So when the audio manager saw that I was like selling a shit ton of like warranties on everything that came
at the cashier station.
At the cashier, they were like, hey, if you're good at selling it at the last second to these people who said no in the aisle,
right?
Try them in the aisle. And then I was really good at selling shit in the aisle too.
So was there were there commissions there?
No, that's the thing is that's why it's such a scam is like they have this like vibe of getting all these young people to like buy into like Best Buy. Yeah. We're all one family. Let's hit these target numbers, whatever. Yeah. And like, you're just a kid, your first job, you're like, fun. All right. And then like, I was just good at selling. So they kept encouraging me and telling me what a good job I was doing. And that's part of the reason why people go to Best Buy and trust the people who work there. Cause you can tell them, hey, I'm not getting commission. And it's true.
Right.
But then after a few months, I was like, hey, give me a raise. I'm the best salesman in the whole audio department.
Sure.
Give me a raise. And they were like, oh, we need you to increase the amount of hours you work. Well, I'm like, I'm in high school. I can't work more hours than like 1 time a week.
Yeah.
Then we can't give you a raise. I'm like, all right. And then I just stopped selling.
Right.
Wow.
Unless people unless the warranty was like warranted, I would never sell the warranties. If people were looking at accessories that were too expensive or like didn't matter, they didn't need monster cables, I would sell them the cheaper cables. I just my numbers just immediately dropped.
Yeah, because why the fuck would why?
You're not getting a raise, then you get minimum wage work.
And a raise, and a raise seems like the bare minimum of like, maybe you aren't going to offer commission. Maybe that's like, you are an awful company, and or you want your people to have like a certain level of integrity when they say they don't get commission. But like, surely a little more money, right? Encourage somebody to do something.
And and like the idea that they hit you with like a rule like that we have to work more hours is just implying that they just were never going to give you a raise. Like they were just going to keep letting you work that hard. And if you hadn't said something, they would have never let you know that there was no raise.
And then they would say, they're like, dude, your numbers have dropped down. I'm like, that's weird.
And
then they would do events certain days where they're like, whoever has the best numbers today gets $100 Best Buy gift card.
Right.
That day, I murdered everybody's numbers.
Yeah.
Like, you do this every day. I'm like, well, you could give me an extra $100 every day too. Like, the money became better, and there was an incentive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, it's like you're like a reverse lab rat. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I only want the stimulus that you give me, dude. So fucking, I'm not doing shit unless you go for it. Like, come on. And they still can't.
Such a big corporation, and they can't like just figure out how to give you more money. Like
one rule.
Like they're paying you like they're a mom and pop. Like there's and
also the craziest fucking thing is $100 Best Buy gift card to Best Buy, right? To the place where you work. Like that $100 is not $100 to them. Yeah. Right.
Actually, the truth is, Best Buy, most stuff they don't make any profit on.
Really?
CDs that they sell for like $13-$14, they buy for like $13.50 something. They make
sure.
And then like computers, they make maybe 5%, 3% profit on.
It's the warranties.
And the accessories that they make like 400%.
Cables, cords, controllers.
So when you buy a computer, they're not making a lot on the computer, but then they'll sell you all.
You buy a mouse, if you buy a mouse pad, if you buy an external monitor.
That's why audio was one of the departments where they made the most money, because the equipment itself is pretty inexpensive. Like a CD player and a receiver and speakers are all pretty inexpensive nowadays. But the warranties are like $40. And the percentage that warranty is of the product, like you buy a $200 receiver and a $40 warranty, the warranty is 20% of the actual product versus a computer. It's like $1,000 computer and you buy a $100 warranty and it's 10%. So it's like literally, and that's how they calculate how good you are, is what percentage of your sales are accessories and warranties.
Got it.
Oh, wow. The Hormoz factor. That's where you come in.
Yeah.
That's where they were like,
big Hormoz synergy over here.
Oh, this was my scam though, that I figured out later. Is whenever they would start doing, because they would do those things all the time after they saw how good I sell, they would give me incentives like for a certain day.
They're just like, today's Hormoz day.
We're going to give out a gift card, or we're going to give out this new TV or whatever. They would have like different prizes. On those days, I would sell the best.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even just sell good. I had my buddy Sanjay, who is this Indian kid who is just filthy rich. Who's like in high school, had his dad's credit cards and shit. I would hit him up and be like, hey, come through the Best Buy, buy like a few $1,000s worth of audio equipment from me and accessories and all that. Wait a few days and then return it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you guys, I'm gonna fucking get every single prize you guys put out.
Gonna kill everybody.
I'm still gonna not make your business money.
Yeah. Shout out to Sanjay for that.
Man.
Sanjay.
World-class grift, Sanjay. Thanks for jumping into the fray. Did you get any, because I'm a skittish person. I'd be like, oh, can I return it? Like, is it okay? But how often did you do it?
Return policy, you don't open shit, it's fine.
Yeah. So you did it pretty often then?
I probably did that like 3 times.
Sure. Just to really secure the.
It had to be good enough. Like I had to be like, hey, I'm trying to win. Like, $200 and
exactly.
I got you.
Nice.
Man.
Nice. How long were you doing that? How long were you at Best Buy for?
Like a year and a half.
Okay. So this is like a tidal wave. Like you come in, you're fucking wrecking shop, and then you get the news that you're not going to ever get any more money.
Yeah.
So then you tank, and then they come up with a game where they're like, well, we can get Hormoz to work harder for us. And then you counter the game by hitting up Sanjay. And this is all coming inside of 14 months? Like, oh my God. That's crazy.
This is like Best Buy chess.
This is this is a movie. They're gonna make a movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Like everybody talks really fast, like in the Social Network, like they speed up the audio. They really figured
like
out
1.5 times on a podcast.
1.5x. So I mean, did you learn any cool stuff about? Because I feel like especially audio. I feel like computers. Most people are like, it's like a model. It's like a car. You know what I mean? Most people kind of know what they want unless they need to be major geeks about it. And then they know, right? But audio can freak people out, right? Because it's like, I mean, in some cases, maybe you're just selling, CD players or whatever. Like, did you learn anything, or was it like, no, we're just chords?
I mean, I learned how to set up my own and some of my friends 5.1 Adobe Digital stuff. You know, like figured out what that means. Like,
right. Yeah.
what the 5 means, what the 0.1.
Yeah. So
it's all pretty easy. Like if you bought a surround sound system on the box, it tells you.
Yeah, they tell you what to do. Yeah. I just didn't know people. You know, if people came to you being like, I don't know if I should like set it up like this, or you know what I mean. Like, well, if you really want it to feel like the golf ball is coming from behind you, you're gonna really have to.
Yeah, I mean, like at first when I was like just being, you know, just trying to sell, I would like try and sell people on the warranties. So I would tell them, I'd be like this, because everybody has a stereo receiver from like the 1970s.
Yeah.
So like a $40 4-year warranty seems like a waste of money because you're like every receiver lasts 20 years.
Yeah.
I would always pretend, I would just be like, this thing's more like a computer than your old receiver.
Yeah. There's more tech these days.
Like a Pentium processor. This has Adobe Digital processor. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it was no warranty.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then they just had that
for a little while.
Years. Oh, you only did that for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, once they weren't paying me enough, I wasn't trying to scam people for no money.
Yeah. Again, who cares? Were there any other? I mean, you said your friends ended up working there. Were there any other like cool or not so cool people that were there?
Oh, dude, I met so many. It was really a cool place to work. A lot of young people. I went to my first college parties because a bunch of kids who went to like Cal State Fullerton worked there.
Yeah, you can really level up at those like first and second jobs where like you're somehow first just because you work there, you're on the same page with everybody else, but you're totally not in every other category.
You're still good.
Like, you don't even have hair on your balls, and you're just like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll do a kickstand. Can you guys buy me some whatever you can get at the store?
That first party I ever went to at Cal State Fullerton, like I didn't drink because I was like a good kid in high school.
Same.
But I saw an empty vodka bottle that I filled up with water, and I was just walking around sipping it.
Yeah.
And people thought I was this madman who was just drinking vodka the whole time. And they're like, hey, give me some of that. So I'm watering down people's drinks.
Just pouring it into their like jungle juice or whatever. They're saving those people's lives, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just hydrating people. The next day they're waking up no hangover. They're like,
wow, I feel fresh.
Who was that hero last night?
I woke up with 2 cucumbers in my eyes. I used to do that, not to that extreme, but I would bottles of beer. If I it's a couple beers deep, I would go to the kitchen and fill the beer up, as long as it wasn't like green. It was with water, just to like do a mid-run hydration. But that was on secret. Yours was out in the open. Yours was celebrated like a king.
All right, so Hormoz, that was your first job ever. What would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
I'd say, I mean, I only stayed for like a day, but I did a job when I first was out in LA where I was just like working for a law firm, just filing documents, and it was this room, and they would just keep bringing me documents, and I'd have to find where it went in this alphabetical thing, and it was just the most monotonous, boring thing. I did it one day, and I was like,
How did you get into that? You just needed
Craigslist. Yep. They said they were looking for a male model, and
what?
It's a lifestyle law firm.
Lifestyle of sorting.
This is gonna get you into some commercial real estate. You just stick around.
No commercials, no real estate.
No commercials or real estate. That is for sure the most LA response to that ad. So they just literally locked you in like a room. I mean,
bringing me more files.
Yeah, was there anybody else there? Anyone else filing, or is it just
no? I was the file guy.
Okay.
Oh my god. So what's the
You wear like a tie? I'm sorry, Nick. No, you wear a button-up shirt, or they're just like you just showed up.
Button-up shirt.
Okay.
What's the timeline for you training versus the one day you were there?
Training to doing.
It was just take these and put them in these files. Go alphabetical by last name. I'm like, all right. It was like zero training involved.
So 8 hours in, you were like, well, my soul is turning to dust.
I even stayed 8 hours that first day.
Really?
I think like I went into it knowing like, oh, I do need a job, but this seems like a bunch of bullshit.
This might be a no.
And they're like, oh, you're hired. Can you start right now? And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but I got to leave by, I think I told them like a 4-hour window. I think I worked like 1 4-hour shift. And I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's so weird that they would be like, oh yeah, Hormoz, this is great. Yeah, no, it's pretty chill vibe. Yeah, everything's here is good. I think we're going to take you on. Yeah. Can you start right now? We're actually in dire straits.
Yeah.
This place is falling apart. That guy I was 5 seconds ago, total lie. I am terrified to be crushed under a stack of papers.
Yeah, good question. What was the vibe of the rest of the place? Did it seem orderly, or did it seem sort of just like sad? Or
yeah, it seemed like sad, but it seemed like a small business, like a small law firm.
Yeah.
that was a little messy.
Yeah, and they're willing to pay minimum wage to somebody to put things in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. Tough game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of meat on that bone. So I'm gonna. I want to.
There's another job that I hated too, and I don't know if you guys one of you may have worked there too, but donor services group. Anybody work there?
Oh.
Donor, as in like money donor.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
go
like,
on.
Out here in LA, I worked there. And it's like a big phone bank where you call people at ACLU or Sierra Club or whatever charity they're part of. And then you ask them to donate more money to that charity.
Yep.
And it's the worst. And you're calling people who are working for charities. They're good people who like have given money in the past to ACLU. And then they're like, get me off your fucking list. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, people do not want to be called.
Yeah.
That was.
How long were you there?
I was there probably a total of like a month and a half, but like I worked for 2 weeks maybe for real.
Yeah.
And then I figured out that they were so busy that I could just go clock in and make a couple calls and then dip over to my buddy Alex's place who lived like down the street.
Oh, really?
We'd chill. And then I'd come back for the end and make a couple more calls. That's like another month.
That busy. That is very busy.
Yeah. Well, because it's just a big phone bank. It's like they're not spot. And then, but then finally they called me in and they were like, "Hey, we see you aren't making a lot of calls."
It took them a month and a half to realize that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Because like I would expect, I would expect that they would have a log like immediately that says, these desks, right, made X amount of calls, and all you need to do is set up a system that if it's below a certain number, you raise a red flag, and you just divide the math of however long they were there.
Happen, but I don't think they have any like flags that get raised unless unless somebody just saw my data and was like, this person sucks the most. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
That's what I would think. I would just think that they were looking for who sucks the most, like pretty much every day, right? But I guess it's every month and a half.
I was gonna say, like, it's weird that it's funny that they would go like, they're like, well, who sucks the most? Oh, it turns out it's that guy that always smells like weed in the second half.
He's always talking about Halo. So how did you figure out that you could, I mean, there's a difference between like, oh yeah, and I sat at my desk and fucked off for however long you were there, and like I literally left.
I don't know. I think one day I was sitting at my desk making calls, and my homie Alex was like, "Hey, you want to smoke?" Blah blah blah, and I'm like, "I'm actually close by. I could probably, take a quick break. They won't even see me gone."
Yeah. It was like that Batman '70s Batman spin. No.
They go for an hour. Yeah, they come back an hour later, sit back down at my desk, finish that day work, and I go, "Oh, whoa, I got away with being gone for an hour."
Right.
And then you try it again, and then the next time you're like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And the next time, clock in and leave.
So talk me through like the physical parameters of this place. Like, I mean, I assume that you're next to 2 other people, right? Like, aren't you in like a bunch of cubicles or whatever?
Yeah, like a bunch of just like tables.
Yeah.
And
this is one of those call centers where I would guess that like the list automatically dials, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to click a button to stop dialing, right?
Yeah, or you just hit enter when you're ready to dial the next one.
Got it. Because I'm aware of some call centers where it literally, as soon as the next
call, calls another one. Yeah.
Starts.
This one you controlled it.
Got it. So there really was a moment every time where you're like, do I want to do this again? And the answer is for sure not.
Yeah, for sure not.
Did you make any sales?
Oh, a lot. At first I did a lot. Yeah.
Right. Bringing in that Best Buy energy.
Like because it's like if you do make enough calls and you just treat it as if you're like actually giving people an update from the organization that they're calling from.
Right.
Most people are happy to hear about an update.
Right.
And then it's now what we're working on now is this thing.
Exactly.
And then that's when people usually say, I don't have money, blah, blah, blah.
Got it.
Like,
So yeah, it's like I'm calling about Amnesty International. We had this campaign in Bolivia. It went really great. And now we're trying to we're trying to get people in Brazil clean water. And it's like, oh, well, that sounds okay. Yeah. And you're right. If you do play those numbers games, eventually, you'll strike.
But I personally didn't give a fuck about the kids in Bolivia. So
sure.
Go smoke with Alex,
Yeah. That's what on the smoke with Alex team.
And that's the thing is like, especially like the ad copy for those, posts on like Craigslist, they're like, make a change,
Yeah.
And like,
the thing too, they started sending me to like Heritage Foundation and shit too. They were like, oh, we'd like you to try this one. And
right.
I'm not trying to make money for Heritage Foundation. I'm like, what are you doing?
What's the Heritage Foundation?
Oh, it's like a super conservative right wing.
Oh yeah, fuck that shit.
I was like, I'm not trying to do that.
I am literally leaving to go smoke weed.
Come on.
These people hate me, and I know it for a fact. Did you like meet or talk to anybody there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So you were around enough to like,
Yeah, and I mean, went through training with people, and
right.
I mean, I think there's one other comic who worked there, Harmony something. Forget his last name, but
okay. So I kind of want to bring it home for like a third trifecta because I kind of want to ask you about that strip club job. That you started with as well. Yeah. You said you were you were a door guy, or what was your job at the strip club?
It was like working the front door. So I would like collect money from people to get in.
Okay. Like the cover charge and stuff.
Yeah. Like cover charge. And then when people would get drinks, I was also like the person who poured the non-alcoholic beers or poured the Red Bulls into cups because we wouldn't give people cans. And then I would be the person who had to watch the cameras of the private rooms to make sure the girls weren't like sucking.
There's no trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
No trouble across the board. How did you fall into that gig?
My buddy Brian Marino.
Okay.
You probably know. He worked as the DJ there, and I was looking for a job. He's like, "Hey, I can hook you up," and he hooked me up. And the interesting thing is, I also answered the phone there, and so at first I answered the phone a few times, and I'm like, "Hi, this is Hormoz. How may I help you?" And they're like, all right, you can't go by Hormoz. Yeah. I had that name working there. They're like, you can't answer the phone as Hormoz.
Yeah.
They're gonna think, what's going on?
They're gonna think that they are getting pranked called somehow.
Yeah.
Like, no, my refrigerator's not running Hormoz. So what was your name? Gordon?
Jordan. Which sounds like a stripper name.
It does a little. Yeah, especially with the Y. If it was Jordyn.
Yeah, Jordan, I thought they were going to make you say something like, hey, this is Ice. Yeah. Jordan's at least a name. Yeah. Okay, so it's funny that they immediately make you feel like shit about your name.
Yeah, immediately
just be dickheads to you about that. So you get calls and what? Just people being like, "Are there strippers there?" And you're like, "Yeah, duh. Go ahead and show up whenever."
Yeah, well, what are the calls about? Hours?
It'd be like, "Oh, how much is it to get in?" Mostly that kind.
I've never Googled anything in my entire life.
Yeah.
I assume that was old. I mean, like, was it a lot of older dudes at the strip club?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly like people in town.
Sure. Yeah, people in town.
Not knowing what strip club to go to and going to the wrong one.
Really that is especially in LA, but I would say even any big city, there's I would say what 20% of all businesses are just that, of people in town not really sure which one they should go to.
Yeah.
Make a mistake once sort of place.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on me is the name of the spot.
And people would come in wanting alcohol, and our manager would be like, "Oh yeah, we got beer," and he wouldn't mention that it's non-alcoholic beer, and they'd be like, "What percentage?" He's like, "It's low, but it's beer."
Oh wait, I didn't actually track. I didn't
5%.
I didn't track this. There's zero alcohol. I thought that you just served non-alcoholic things.
No. There's no alcohol allowed in strip clubs in California.
Oh shit.
Tits and pussy, you can't serve alcohol.
God, I did not know this.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's crazy. So everybody is just drinking, like, I would imagine, mostly Red Bull.
Yeah, it's so
Or beer, but the beer is just nothing.
Yeah.
It's funny that like that like how many lies your manager tells real fast to them.
It's a
like,
huge stack.
He's just like, oh yeah, for sure. We got some beer, very low percentage alcohol, but it's beer. My guy Jordan is gonna get it for you. Nothing real about that sentence.
It's really busy in here.
Yeah. You're in the right place for sure.
Oh man, and sometimes like when a bunch of people would actually show up, and there'd be like 2, 3 not that hot girls, because we had one of the shittier strip clubs. When it would get popping, because like maybe a bunch of bachelors would suddenly show up.
Yeah.
Then there was like a few girls that were like breaking case of glass kind of girls that would get called, and they were like just some bad bitches would come to collect all the money if there were people there. There's like, imagine being those girls who work the daily shift of nobody coming around, never making money.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's people, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, we're about to fucking make money off this bachelor party." And then these hot bitches come in just to take over that.
Just take everything. They take food from your mouth.
For real.
Yeah. You're just all mad, packing up your G-strings.
Slamming
It's gonna be my time. This is gonna be my time. Goddamn Sapphire shows up and ruins everything.
My question is, what's the turnaround on that? So you have a big bachelor party, or like 30 tourists from Berlin get dropped off or something. Like what? How quickly did the like? I feel like it's like half an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're already working at like probably Sin City or Body Shop or something like that, where there's like way more competition for the people there.
Yeah.
So as soon as they hear that at that shitty club there's a bunch of people, they know that they can dominate the
that they can come in and just destroy Crystal or whoever's currently right now. Yeah.
They can just ruin the lifers.
Yeah, just like you think you're like it's your first day on the job as a cop, and you're like, I'm gonna clean these streets up, and they're like, actually, we called in the Avengers, so you can.
You're not needed.
You can go home. Please do, actually. But we will see you tomorrow. We do need you tomorrow. Bright and early, 9:30 shift.
9:30 a.m. Tuesday shift. Will you be here? Because that is your time. That is your time, Crystal.
Yeah.
She's all bummed, but she's gonna be there.
Yep. Crystal's reliable, folks, you know.
Just standing around in your underwear, nobody around, just upset.
Yeah. She's just kind of like
just wearing a pair of jeans.
Doing it. Yeah. She's wearing jeans and a hoodie.
Yeah.
I remember the manager would yell at the girls constantly when there's no customers in. He's like, "You should be up there dancing. Like, what if somebody walks in? You can't have them walk in, and then suddenly people run up and start dancing."
Right.
There's nobody here. You want me just to fucking work for no money?
If anyone ever does show up, I will baseball slide right onto that stage, and I will get to work. But no one's fucking in here, man.
Also, just tell me if someone's going to be here. Oh, say that again.
They were not good at pole dancing.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know how to do moves at all.
There's more than one reason they were at the mistake club, and it wasn't just.
Oh yeah, the good girls who'd come in, they knew what they were doing. They could do fucking spins upside down and ass claps and all that shit.
Oh man, that sucks. Like
that shit is amazing. That's like watching LeBron dunk when you see a really good stripper.
Yeah,
it's really
no. It's definitely acrobatic. That's what sucks so hard. Is that the Crystals of the world are just they are really and truly getting dunked on in every category.
She's like getting dizzy when she spins a little bit. And she's like, hold on a second.
I do have vertigo, but I'm gonna make this dream happen. Were there any regulars that came?
Yeah, there's a couple. There was like one celebrity that would come, and he would like just go. He would get a couple strippers, and he'd go into like the private room. And they would just sit and talk and do blow all night. They wouldn't even fool around. They wouldn't even do anything. I don't want to say his name because he's a cool dude. He gave me and stuff too. But like, it was like he was just lonely. I remember thinking like this.
Yeah. I would imagine he was just looking for like something akin to either like the friend, the party, or like the girlfriend experience for a little while. Just like, I gotta go be social.
He's lonely and he's an addict. And
yeah.
That too.
And so it's like. So,
and also this is a place where he's guaranteed not to be bothered by anybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure,
Because nobody
sure.
else is there.
Yeah.
Whew. What were your hours like typically?
It was usually like started around 9 and went till like 2 in the morning. Yeah.
And so that guy was coming in during those times. I'm just saying, like, there isn't really
not
like
very frequently, but I saw him a few times.
Yeah.
And it was always just to hang out with girls.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I imagine, again, we will not name this person, but I do imagine they're sort of like a USA Today celebrity rather than like a. I mean, I hope that they're a real like A-lister. I hope it was Chris Pratt. But I really hope it was like Josh Duhamel or somebody. You know what I mean? Like somebody. Nothing against the guy.
I'm gonna ask you off the pod, and you're gonna be like, dude, Tom Hanks. God damn.
George Clooney.
Were you friends with any of the girls? Did you get along with them? Was there any contact, or was they just kind of come in, get out?
No, I mean they were all. I was polite to all of them and friendly with all of them. But no, I wouldn't say I became friends with any of them.
They just worked at different departments.
Very awkward. They're actually pretty. Like it's like when you work at the strip club, it's like they are some raunchy, nasty girls sometimes. Like some of them,
really?
Some of them are so beautiful, but they would be doing shit like they'd be walking around with like the fucking string hanging out of their pussies and be like, yeah, this and they would come up right next to me and like cut the string on their things like right in front of me and shit. It was just it was like more like
very comfortable.
Very comfortable, and also just not sexual. Just
at all.
Naked, but it wasn't sexual. Like they were like, and
it's their job.
It was their job, and also it's like you said,
I have a question.
It was just like a sad place.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
The thing about strip clubs in general, to me, especially like it's like the strip club is kind of the same setting as an old movie theater. Like it's like dark, sticky floors, kind of a weird energy. You feel like there's more dust on the walls than maybe you would like, but the show at a sad strip club is sadder than an old movie theater.
Sure is.
I worked one night at Crazy Girls for New Year's because they needed more management there. They needed more people to watch the club because it was so busy, and that club was so much better. Like the girls were all making money. They're all super hot.
Yeah.
That's the one they don't get fully naked because they serve alcohol there. And the girls are happier. The girls are making money. All the guys there are having a great time. Like it's this specific strip club that was like the saddest. Like, Yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's like a restaurant. There are restaurants that are good. And there are restaurants that are sad.
Yeah.
Just back to that alcohol thing. Did you have to manage people's disappointment when they discovered that you were not going to be serving them any alcohol whatsoever? Or were they pretty like, we get it?
There's people who like you could hear as they're leaving be like, no, I don't feel drunk at all. I think that was just.
They didn't even know officially.
They didn't officially. No.
And there's like the one really really peer pressure like guy in the group who's just like, I'm trash. I don't know what you guys say. He's like kind of staggering
all night. Yeah.
I remember when I first started working at that strip club, I didn't have a car, so I was like trying to save up money to get a car. And then one night, this guy tipped me like $1,000. And I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna go get a car. Fuck yeah. And then I remember the next day the stripper talking to the manager and being like, hey, that's my customer. He thought he was giving me that $1,000 when he was $1,000 tip. And the manager was like, all right, well, he's an idiot. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that the first car I got out here in LA was bought off of money that was earned by a stripper.
Yeah. You roll up in the car.
Yeah. He just came back in later on and was like talking to her, and he was like, hey,
did you get that 1,000? Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Right. Oh man. Oh well, you get a car out of it.
Man, that's so crazy that you like. Did you expressly hide like the O'Doul's bottle from them?
Everything was like behind the counter. They couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And then there's a waitress who brought them cups and drinks.
Oh, right.
And you said earlier, it's all just in the cups, right? So they don't get a bottle. So
it's a Bud Light cup filled that you fill up with your beer.
Oh man, that's so great. And they're like, well, it's Bud Light, so I can't get that. I need to have like 30 before I get drunk anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's so funny that there's also a friend in the group who's like, no, I'm driving tonight. Sorry.
Yeah,
he could have just
no.
had
I
a
gotta
Red
be
Bull
cool.
and a
I gotta
beer.
be cool.
Oh man. Wow. Wait, so when we should probably wrap up. So Hormoz, we typically ask 3 questions before we're done, just to like cover the bases. I feel like we'll stick to the stripper job, just because I'm the most curious. So for that stripper job, like when were you done and how did you quit? Like when did you know I got to get out of here, and when did you actually leave? How long were you there again?
Club got shut down for a few weeks because like the owner of the club, like there was a guy who was the manager who was there every day that I dealt with, and then there was like the owner's son. The same family owned Sin City and this strip club. And like the dad would like watch over mostly Sin City, and the son would watch over this shitty strip club. That son, I think, died of like a coke overdose or something.
Okay.
Oh,
I forget
shit.
how he died, but he died.
Yeah.
And so they shut down the club for a few weeks. And at this point, I'd already gotten my car. Like the whole point of this job was because I needed a car to get around.
That's a very Grand Theft Auto life you're living in this story. just doing the grimiest work just to get that car.
Get a car.
Just climbing the ladder, man.
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, I think I took that opportunity to get on unemployment.
Okay.
Oh, right. Because you were laid off or whatever.
Yeah.
Super smart.
And then when they reopened and the manager was like, you want to come back? I'm like, no, I'm on unemployment right now. I'll just stick with that. And,
because that's like 6 months.
Yeah.
How long were you there total? Did you say that?
2 months, maybe.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah,
and that $1,000 really tipped the scales. Like if you hadn't had a mistaken tip base, or you could have been there for
an average night. I would leave with like $100 to $200 in tips.
Right.
So
Okay, that's pretty good.
it was okay.
Yeah.
And hourly wage, so it was like pretty good, decent money.
Yeah.
But that night just made it so I didn't have to like keep working.
Yeah. It made it like a month or whatever, or 2 months instead of like 4 months.
Yeah.
Whatever it was going to be. Okay. So question number 2, what was one good thing you would say you took from that not so great job?
Car.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Well, out of curiosity, what car was it?
Just a 1998 Honda Civic that I got. That is still running. My buddy Don Humblin still has it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, you if you just got $1,000, you know exactly what kind of car you're getting.
Honda Toyota,
baby. Yeah.
Or Toyota, one of those.
It's a Japanese make, and it is close but not quite at 200,000 miles.
And over now for sure.
I'm saying at the time you buy it, it's like what, like 180, you know?
Yeah, every new owner of the car actually goes back 30,000 miles. I know that. It actually gets 30,000 miles younger.
Yeah, it's a fresh lease on life for that Honda Civic. Okay. Well, question number 3, not related to those jobs, is I guess we're kind of coming on the tail end of a pandemic. I hope it's a tail end.
I don't believe in it, but okay.
Yeah. Pandemic, excuse me. Like how you doing? Any like new worldviews, insights, or like how you feel about everything getting back to normal, or
I'm just
whatever?
excited for everything getting back to normal.
Yeah.
Excited. I've done a few stand-up gigs here and there. I'm just excited for it to get back to like a regular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah.
But,
Word. Well, Hormoz, where can people find you on the internet if you'd like to be found?
On social media, Twitter, Instagram at Not Hormones, NOTHORMONES.
Got it. And we'll put those links in the show notes. Well, thanks so much for joining us, dude. This is
dude, thanks, man.
Hell yeah.
Fuck this place.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Hey, are you listening to this podcast on your phone? Did you know that you can also text on your phone? And furthermore, did you know you can text this podcast using your phone? It's quite simple. It's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. You text it, and I get it. Go beep bop bop, and the guy get it beep bop bop bop, and here we go. That's it. Bye for now.
Fuck this place.